just to give some context, the first thing I have to do is give credit to Don Taylor, who was the inspiration for what I'm going to share. And his work at Main Street Middle School is at this point far superior to what I'm going to be showing you. So if people want to see what that should really look like, go and check it out. Again, Don Taylor at Main Street Middle. But basically, the idea that I came up with was to try to create sort of a hub of sorts that would give students resources that they could use in doing a personal interest project that is centered around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so I'm in the midst of building this site, and it's definitely still a work in progress, but it's just to kind of give people an idea of what this could look like if they were interested in doing something similar to that. So basically, it's just a simple Google site that I put together. The way that it is laid out is that the homepage gives a little bit of background on what the sustainability goals are, in case this is the first time you're working with students on that particular topic. It talks about what is this website, which I'm calling the Sustainable Development Goal Academy. So the SDG Academy for short. So it just kind of gives an overview of, there are these huge issues that we have in the world. We have a group of people called the United Nations, countries all over the world coming together to talk about how do we deal with these issues, and how can we all work together to make the world a better place. So it just has some basic information about that, some guiding questions to provide context and purpose to the website, and some of the videos from the World's Largest Lesson. A lot of the resources that I have in here I took from World's Largest Lesson, worldslargestlesson.com, which is tons of great lesson plans and resources and videos related to the global goals. The outcome of this is twofold, but the first part is that it is a chance to work on reading and writing skills. And so the first part of the project that we have laid out for students is you're going to do a writing piece of some sort that involves you having to dig through the information that's provided to you here, take notes, make sense of that information, and then share out through informational writing. I had a conversation last night with Kevin and Amanda from Williston Central on the Swift team, and they actually are more interested in going in the direction of doing argument writing. I don't think that it matters particularly, whatever skills you're trying to practice. The idea here is that it's flexible depending on the focus that you're doing with your kids. But basically our task is to gather the information and then share it with others so that we can spread it out and get as many people involved in achieving the global goals as possible. So this is just sort of giving them a little overview of what's the purpose of doing all this. We have scales in here with specific targets that we're working on so that they can take a look at those and know what's going to be expected of them. And then a series of writing project options so that it doesn't just have to be a 5-paragraph essay or whatever the typical writing would be. So being able to do your writing through poster, through a letter to a representative in the government, a script for a video, and then recording that video, creating a website, and then sort of a design your own project option as well. And then giving them the heads up that there is another page on this website where they can explore organizations that are working on whatever goal they've chosen for themselves, and they could use that as sort of a model of how to distribute information as well. So that's the first part of the project, is the writing part. The intention that I had was for them to choose a goal to focus on, and I've kind of organized those goals into 2 categories. There's reduced inequalities, which is the first 5 goals: no poverty, no hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, and gender equality. And then the other category is responsible consumption and conservation. So that's the goals like clean water, renewable energy, climate action, life below water, and life on land. And so they can go in, explore these, take some time to figure out what speaks to them, what are they most interested in, and pick one goal. And then I'll just kind of show you each of the pages for the goals is laid out pretty much the same way. There's a few prompting questions and then a resource to go along with them to help them answer those prompting questions. So as they're going through the resources and doing their research, they'll have plenty of places where they can gather information. So the icon at the top is always going to link them to the Global Goals website that has the individual targets under that goal, so that way they can dig into what are the different pieces of how we can achieve this according to the United Nations. And then underneath is just a lot of different types of resources that they can explore, from World's Largest Lesson and beyond. So there's more like graphic comic type resources. There are articles that are embedded, videos are embedded. And then at the bottom of each page is this section for other helpful links and videos. The links send them off to other websites that might be helpful to them, and gives them, underneath that, it gives them a few embedded videos that they can watch that have been previewed by me, so that I know that they're appropriate and giving accurate information. So it's just sort of a way of giving them some choice in how they're exploring their topic, but also making sure that they're headed in a direction that's going to be reliable for them. I would like to be able to offer the option to go above and beyond this site and the resources in this site, but at least it's a starting point for those kids that need an entry point, and then they can kind of take it where they want to after that. So that's the goals pages. And then the last part is, once they've gathered their research and they put it together into a writing piece, the final thing that we would like to do eventually, that's going to be a little bit tough given the times that we're in right now, is the authentic actions part of the project, which is, okay, so you've gathered this information, you've figured out a way to share the information, but what can you actually do besides just sharing the information? How can you get out into your community and sort of rally people around this cause? And so this gives them some background, excuse me, in different ways that people go out and take action. Just gives a brief description of the different types of projects that they might be able to do. So there's a bunch of things there. Again, we're totally open to students coming up with their own ideas. The ones that we put in here are connected to a text that we have called We Can Make Change, I think is the name of the book. Let me just check really quickly here. You Are Mighty, A Guide to Changing the World by Caroline Paul is the resource that we took these options from, which I can share with folks if you're interested in seeing that text. And we have it in our social justice library, so we're happy to lend it out. So the final piece of this is, hopefully they can go out and take action somehow in their community. It's going to be a little harder and a little bit more limited right now if you were to put this in place, because you're not allowed to go out in your community at all, really. But in future years, that's really our goal. Or, to get creative. I know that Kevin and Amanda were sharing some really creative ways that kids could still feel like they're making a real impact, even if they have to do so from home and do so virtually, as far as like being able to do a Zoom with a local legislator or something like that to tell them about what they've learned. And so there are definitely options for what they could do. And then the last page that I have here that students are encouraged to explore a little bit is the organizations page. I tried to go through each of the goals that they have access to and just put in a few of the organizations that are out there in the world that are doing this work, hopefully to inspire students and what they might want to do, but also to give more information and to show them that, people are working on this and it is really important, and you can be a part of it. And so that's just another set of resources. So overall, the purpose of the site is just to give students opportunities that are self-paced, that are self-directed, that are at least somewhat personal interest, although it's limited to the global goals, and just give them access to a lot of different resources to ensure that they can be successful in whatever it is they choose to do. So, said my piece.